Morning everybody, how are y'all doing today? You know, I would be doing a lot better if it wasn't for these damn Switch 2 prices. Because I'm not gonna lie, I was actually kind of looking forward to the Switch 2. Especially since it looks like Nintendo's first party games will actually run well for once. It looks great, but of course everything has a price, and quite literally in this case. Because you all know by now, I'm not gonna act like you don't. Mario Kart World and potentially other Nintendo first party games are gonna be $80. Alongside a million other different fees that I already talked about in my last video on this. Nintendo is price gouging to hell and back, and God, I hope it blows up in their faces. Companies were able to get away with $70 games. I genuinely do not know if they can get away with 80. I guess we're gonna find out. But in the meantime, today we're gonna be taking a look at some people trying to defend these prices. Because, you know, you should just let companies price gouge you. Leave the billion-dollar corporation alone. Just stop being poor, dumbass. At least, according to these people. I genuinely cannot fathom the logic, or I guess lack of logic, that these people use. Why are you defending companies increasing prices for literally no reason? There is genuinely no reason for this. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, inflation. We're going to get to that. Don't worry. Just know that that argument is stupid and dumb and wrong. And if you make that argument, you are also stupid and dumb and wrong. So yeah, without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this and see the defenses people have for the billion-dollar corporation trying to price gouge them. Let's be real. Mario Kart World will be worth $80. Now, obviously, this is subjective. It's an opinion, but as Eminem once said,
and I know it's your opinion, but your opinion's wrong.
No game, or at least no base version of a game, is worth $80. And even if you disagree with that, it should absolutely not cost $80. Think about it. You will be paying as much for Mario Kart World as it costs to get the Ultimate Edition of Elden Ring, which includes the DLC. And you already know, there's absolutely going to be paid DLC for Mario Kart World in the future, assuming the game does well, which it probably will. And you're going to have to buy that separately. That DLC will not be included with the $80 price tag. And it only gets worse for this guy because somebody quote tweeted him and said, "This you though, champ?" And it's a screenshot of a tweet where he said, "Just picked up Metaphor and Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, and the $70 price tag is still pretty jarring." So $70 for Metaphor and Dragon Ball is too much. It's jarring. But $80 for Mario Kart is a-okay. Don't get me wrong, I'm not justifying games being 70 either. I think they should be 60. And I know somebody's probably thinking, oh, well, I've seen in previous videos you're playing like Call of Duty and other $70 games. And you're correct. However, I did not buy any $70 games until it was clear that the industry wasn't going backwards and that $70 games were here to stay. I stood on business when those first came out. I don't think I bought a single $70 game until like October or November of 2022. I can't believe it. I never thought I would see the day where people are saying that 70 for Metaphor and Dragon Ball is too much, but 80 for Mario Kart with no DLC or anything is perfectly fine. And trust me, I've got more to say, but I'm saving it for some later tweets in this video. Anyway, let's continue. I can kind of lump these three together. For what I have seen, it's worth that price. And then somebody replies, yup, it's absolutely deserved. Have no problem paying a bit more if the game is worth spending tons and tons of hours in. And then the same guy in a separate reply says, that's fine, games that are worth hundreds of hours of playtime deserve that price. Again, I know this is their opinion, but their opinion is stupid and dumb. And I'm gonna go real in depth and explain why this is so dumb. Let me break it down for you.
Let me break it down for you, Mark.
Nah, but in all seriousness, the reason this is dumb is this. $60 was the standard for games for a long time. Let's look at Mario Kart 8. I mean, it's the most recent Mario Kart game. That game cost $60, and it sold about 75 to 76 million units. Let me get my calculator out here real quick. If we do 60 times 75 million, don't look this up, I want you to take a guess. How much money do you think Nintendo made from sales of just Mario Kart alone? And yes, it is reasonable to assume that most copies were bought at $60 because Nintendo never discounts their games. Or at least they very rarely discount their games. Do you have your answer? Alright, the real answer is $4.5 billion. Now, what exactly am I getting at here? What I'm getting at is, regardless of whether you think it is worth spending a little extra money because of the amount of playtime you're getting out of a game, that does not mean you should be okay with the higher price, because there is literally no reason for it. I don't give a damn how much inflation is affecting these companies. If Nintendo is literally making billions of dollars off of one game at a $60 price tag, there is no reason for them to raise the price. I don't care how replayable it is. I don't care how many new features they put in the game. They are literally only charging extra because they think they can get away with it. And think about this as well. Some of the most replayable games and games that you can sink the most amount of time into are $60 or less. All of the Souls games, including Elden Ring, which, as I said before, Elden Ring and its DLC combined is $80 for the Ultimate Edition. Minecraft, Risk of Rain 2, Helldivers 2. I mean, do I need to say anything else? I don't care how much time you can put into a game. It does not justify a price increase, especially when these companies are making unfathomably massive profits off of them. Like, excuse me if I don't shed a tear when the billion-dollar corporation might only make $3.5 billion of profit off of a game instead of $4 billion because of inflation or their budgets are too big or whatever. And oh, by the way, budgets being massively ballooned is not a justification for charging more. The consumer should not have to take the burden of you massively increasing your budget for no reason. Control your budget better. God almighty. I think you get the point. Even if you see it as worth paying the extra $10 because of the extra time you can sink into the game, you cannot deny there is literally no reason for this to happen. Like, sure, buy the game. By all means, go and enjoy it. But for the love of God, don't act like it's not price gouging, because it absolutely is. Alright, I think I've made my point. Let's move on now. Now we're gonna move on to the tweet that actually inspired me to make this video in the first place. Jason here says, you paid $120 in 1997 for Mario Kart 64, but no one cried. $60 in 1997 is worth $120 today. Why aren't you thankful it's so much cheaper now? And then somebody replies, our parents did, gas was 80 cents, and then Jason replies again and says, get a job. You stupid, soggy scrotum of a man. Alright, let's break this down again, and no, I'm not gonna replay the Invincible clip. God, I have been so addicted to Invincible brain rot recently. It's so funny, but I know it's just because I'm stupid. First of all, I hate this stupid argument of, oh, games used to be more expensive, so what's the problem with them getting more expensive now? Gaming was far more of a luxury back in the 90s. I mean, it still technically is a luxury, but guess what? Like any new thing that comes out, it gets cheaper as time goes on. I mentioned this in the last video, but the first ever 4K TV that came out in 2012 was $20,000, which is equivalent to $27,000 in today's money. But guess what? Go to Google now, you can buy 4K TVs, big ones by the way, like 65 inches, for around $1,000 or less. Because guess what? It's much more common now. It's much cheaper to make. Same with video games. Especially with digital distribution, video games cost literally nothing to distribute anymore. Even physical copies barely cost anything. And there is a market standard of $60 or $70. Imagine 4K TV prices magically jump to like $15,000 overnight. But how could you be mad about that? Because 13 years ago, they used to cost $20,000, which is way more today than $15,000. So why are you mad? Just be grateful. Because this is price gouging. I don't give a damn what things used to cost. I care what they cost now. Charging $10 extra for no reason is not acceptable. So excuse me if I'm not grateful to a company for trying to price gouge me for literally no reason. And then, dude, this get a job argument, I swear to God. Let me tell you right now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it, assuming US pre-orders were available right now. I could pre-order a Switch 2 with Mario Kart, or I could pre-order a Switch 2 2 without Mario Kart and then pay extra for Mario Kart separately. The issue, at least for some people, is not the lack of ability to afford the things. That's absolutely an issue for some people. But for people like myself, it's not a matter of I can't afford it. It's a matter of I know when I'm getting ripped off and I don't want to pay more than I should. How do you think people with lots of money get that money? They save it. They don't spend it on randomly expensive crap. Have you seen those documentaries about people who win the lottery and then within like 3 to 5 years they're homeless? People with disposable income usually save said income. Oh my god. And then it gets even worse because there's another reply to him. But wages have gone down since 1997. And then Jason replies, they have not. But now you'll mention the cost of living increase and I'll direct you exactly back to my original comment, which points out video games got cheaper while everything else got more expensive. Okay. And how does this justify Nintendo charging extra for no reason? You literally just admitted that everything else around us has gotten more expensive, and you're using that as justification for why video game companies should charge more. Even though, as I established earlier, they're already making massive profits on games. Not to mention, we just had a video game price increase about 5 years ago. Yeah, you know, guys, everything's getting more expensive, inflation's bad, people's wages aren't going up fast enough. So you know what? That's exactly why we should be grateful that Nintendo is increasing the prices of games. Do you hear yourself? God, I can't stand people like this. I hope your kids look like you. That insult is the ultimate test of self-confidence. All right, now moving away from Jason, Jesus Christ. I swear to God, the only good Jason out there is FaZe Jev. Unless your name is Jason and you've liked this video and subbed to me, then you're also a good person. Come on, guys, please like the video. I gotta be able to afford $80 games somehow. All right, in all seriousness, though, we're gonna move on now. $80 for Mario Kart World. GTA 6 is about to be $100. Lamau, and then shows a video of pirates, which I completely agree with. Drink up me hearties, yo-ho. And then this guy replies, just a reminder that piracy is just as bad as any other crime. Well, what are we doing, man? Like, Jesus Christ. You know what? I'm done. I'm gonna go take a walk. But not a traditional walk. There's a window right there. I'm pretty high up in this building. I'm gonna go walk out the window, because this is the only way to relieve my pain and suffering in Minecraft. Piracy is bad as anything else. Yeah, that's right, guys. Piracy is as bad as murder, sexual assault, carjacking, hitting your kids. Piracy of a video game is just as bad. God, dude, just say you're like an alt for somebody who works at Nintendo. Better yet, say you're Harmon Smith. Get off Twitter, go outside, and get some perspective. I told the other guy I hope his kids look like him. I hope you don't have kids. We don't need any more of your intelligence level in this world. All right, continuing on. Y'all don't have money for anything? Again, I could buy all this stuff if I wanted to. It's called having standards and knowing when you're getting ripped off. Just because I have money to spend doesn't mean I'm gonna throw it around willy-nilly. If you want to do that, by all means, it's your money, go for it. But don't try to poor shame people for having standards, like Christ. All right, here we go. Final tweet of the video. And funny enough, this comes from an EA content creator, so you already know where this is going. I don't think $80 is too expensive for a video game, and then post the picture as if he's saying something super stunning and brave. Let me tell you right now, there's a fine line between bravery and stupidity. I think all of you watching this know what side of the line he falls on. Reminder, this guy is a certified EA partner and content creator, so of course he thinks this. This is literally the kind of person who spends $70 every year on all these sports games just for roster updates. Congratulations, sir. Round of applause. Truly so stunning and brave, saying that 80 isn't too much. Honestly, at this point, if you're this dumb, you deserve to get scammed. I don't even know what to say. Alright, so that's the end of the Nintendo fanboys defending this that I have for this video, but I just got sent this in the middle of recording, and for those of you who made it this far, thank you, by the way. I've got a little, bonus for you. Nintendo says it understands that some consumers won't be able to afford the Switch 2, which is why they're still making Switch 1 available. This is literally the Xbox One all over again. Console's a little bit pricey. a Kinect style camera, price gouging you on everything, and they're saying if you don't like it, buy the previous generation hardware. As if it wasn't confirmed enough already, I'm absolutely not buying this crap. Nintendo will not get a cent out of me, but I will continue to get many cents out of talking about them and their fanboys. And with all that being said, that is going to do it for this video. Again, thank you so much if you watched this far. I really do appreciate it. I know uploads have been a little slow, but I've got a lot of stuff going on. But I'm doing my best to get videos out as much as I can. Also, I went away this last weekend, so that's also why this has been a little slower. But whatever, I hope you enjoyed regardless. If you did, be sure to like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it, subscribe if you want to see more. Join us every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern for Salt streams, and I will catch you all next time.